Welcome back to another segment of Buckingham Business Review. I'm Bernie Wolford, your host, and this is our third segment with guest Joyce Bone. And if you haven't already done so, I strongly encourage you to go back and watch previous segments in which we've talked about millionaire moms. We've talked about Kennesaw State and an MBA program, which has actually birthed a company. Joyce, welcome back. And in this segment, I want to learn how to keep all the plates spinning. You're a wife, you're a mother of 3 boys. I have 2, so that's 50% more than I've experienced. You're in an MBA program, you have 3 active businesses. You've traveled all over the country, if not the globe, in some business plan competition. I mean, you must be the world's best time management person, or you're the luckiest or something. I don't know. I mean, how do you do it? And I think one of your most recent ventures is Bone Up on Business on Biz Radio 1190, something that I didn't realize you were doing until recently. A couple questions. How do you do it all? And tell us about Bone Up on Business, your most recent venture.
Well, thank you, Bernie. Appreciate it. And I think that's a great question, one that I get quite a bit.
Sure.
And I would have to say that it's very important to build a support system. And that is exactly what I've done.
Okay.
I have a husband, I have the children, and I explain to them what I'm doing and what the payback is for them. And that's the critical piece, is you have to learn to sell it to those in your world as to how your activities benefit them. And that's what I've done. And yes, I am very good at time management. I believe completely 100% in the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule, where you get 80% of your results from 20% of your activities. Mm-hmm. So every day I look at what I have to do, and then I choose the one that's going to move the ball the furthest that day. Okay. After I've taken care of my children's needs. So if they have something at school, that's my first priority. And then I build my business ventures around that. And that's the wonderful thing about being an entrepreneur, is you are in control of your calendar. Absolutely. And so I work hard, there's no doubt about it, but everything I do, I adore. So it's not like working at all.
That's the great cliche. Find something you love and are passionate about, and you'll never work a day in your life.
That's the truth.
That's it. Well, to paraphrase maybe Donald Trump or Ross Perot or someone who is an acknowledged icon of success in our society, they will say, I defined my success more by what I chose not to do than what I chose to do. I heard a little bit of that coming out. So are you having to do quite a bit of editing and diplomatically, politely turn down requests for your time and activities?
I do, because it's just kind of a well-known fact. If you want to get something done, give it to a busy person, right? You've heard that before. Yes. And I counsel people on the power of no, of saying no to different questions asked of you, obligations, because if you can't say no, you could be missing a really great yes. So it's important to really edit. And sometimes the best deals that you do are the ones that you walk away from and don't get involved in. Yes. So I'm a big believer in that. And that's just come with maturity and time and exposure to a lot of different opportunities. But I do love to say yes as often as possible, obviously.
Very good.
But I try to be strategic in that.
Okay. And now, I have some clue as to how the radio show, Bone Up on Business, fits into this, but I think many of our viewers and listeners will not. So why did you decide to do a radio show?
Well, first of all, I love meeting new people, and I love business people, I love entrepreneurs, and I just felt like this would be a fantastic vehicle to help other people get their word out about what they're involved in, their businesses, and learn. I'm like a sponge. I love to learn from other people. So I love having the guests come in, share their stories, their victories, their obstacles, and then give that to my community. Mm-hmm. So the people that I work with, either through my newsletter or one-on-one or through a speech, I'm constantly receiving new information that I can then share with others. So that's why I do the show. Yeah,
it sounds like it's almost an extension of some of the aspirations of social media, to create community, to keep enlarging it, whether I'm linking into someone or someone's following me. It sounds like you are using radio as yet another vehicle to create relationships, networks, quite often not even knowing where it might lead. I'm sure many things are opportunistic that come through that.
Absolutely,
that
it definitely opens up your funnel of opportunities.
Okay. And does it have a certain theme with regard to industry segment or discipline, or is it sort of an open umbrella?
It's a great question. The tagline is creating wildly successful entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So obviously entrepreneurs, but I also have corporate people come in as well because they have a lot to offer. They come from a different framework. And to me, and the definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who's open to learning, open to innovating and taking the best from every situation. And that's what I feel like a corporate person could bring to the table, some experiences that a small business owner would not have the opportunity to have experienced. Yet they could take a tidbit, a nugget from the conversation and apply it to their world. So it's really all about sharing best practices with all people in business.
Excellent, very good. Well, once again, we've been visiting with Joyce Bone on Buckingham Business Review. And we've asked Joyce to come back and do another segment around this topic of entrepreneurship. Is it something that you must be born with? Is it something that you can learn? What are the key success factors? What are the common points of failure? So I'm very hopeful that that topic will be of interest to you. So until we're together again, this is Bernie Wolford. We'll see you again on Buckingham Business Review.